Hey y'all, welcome to today's episode of the Stay at Home Son podcast. This is episode 40, which we're getting so close to episode 50. And honestly, I don't know why I said that because we're not going to do any celebration for 50. We will for episode 100. But we have a pretty interesting review today. We're going to be reviewing Samhain, which is a really cool short film of a fan fiction kind of take on a classic horror film called Halloween. So I definitely enjoyed it. Thomas, you want to start us off with some initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, to start, I'll tell you that the film follows basically I guess what you want to call a copycat serial killer, where she basically like copies the style of a serial killer that she's been reading about. And there's been a string of murders in the town, so the whole town's on lockdown. So it's kind of obvious that she's the killer from the beginning because I think the first clue is like the cop comes up to her and he's like, you gotta stay in, it's a curfew, so she's the only one breaking curfew. And then it's like she kind of gives it away when she says in my personal favorite scene, she's like, "Oh, if I was a murderer, you would be dead," because she's reading about the serial killer like right then and there with like gets her friend who she ends up killing, I think so.
Yeah, and I don't know if you watched the movie, Thomas, because I know you're not like super into horror movies, but you know Halloween, right? It's like one of the, Michael Myers, the tall guy with the white mask that stabs people.
Yeah.
This was a fan fiction of that. So the serial killer she's studying is Michael Myers. So I think that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. That was something I really enjoyed. I mean, I'm such a Halloween fan. I've watched every single one. I've watched the bad ones that they say the bad remakes, the good remakes, all of them. I'm pretty well immersed in that world, and I thought this was a pretty cool take on a story because we really don't get much backstory on like the town and the area around Michael Myers, like it's just kind of his story. So it's kind of cool to see a fan fiction where it kind of puts like kind of hit not I don't want to use the word legacy because he's a murderer, but his infamy, it kind of shows how there's like copycats of that. And that's kind of modern today because there's a lot of serial killers that freaking are modeling their killings off other types of serial killers from the past. So I think it's kind of cool to see that done by such a horror icon character.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed it, even though I didn't really have like the same background you did. I really thought that it was an interesting story. I don't know, in the movie, do they kind of like give away who the killer is
Yeah,
too?
oh yeah,
Or
that's
yeah, they
what's
do. Okay.
well, that's what's pretty cool about Halloween. Like a lot of horror movies, like most of it is like you're trying to like find out who the killer is, and I don't like those movies because it's not unless you have an interesting dynamic like Scream, which is a pretty cool movie. That's kind of like who did it kind of murder mystery. It's cool because of the dynamic, but a lot of times I don't want to see like a boring movie where the whole time I don't know who's the killer. Halloween's really cool because it comes right off the gun and you know. So basically, I'll explain to you Halloween a little bit. And first of all, I'll say the fact that you like the short film without knowing anything about the lore and the legacy of like Halloween and what this was trying to go for, that really shows that the short itself has legs that people who don't even really know a whole lot about Halloween could enjoy the short just as is. That says a lot about the film, for a positive. But yeah, so basically, Halloween Man is about this like psycho killer. He kills like his sister when he's like 9 years old. Like he's like a child murderer pretty much, and he goes off to like this mental institute, and he lives there for like I think 40 years or something like that. I think he's like 40 when he starts killing people. And he wears like masks and stuff he makes. He never wants to show his face. He stops talking, I think. And he has like this doctor, and this guy's named Dr. Loomis, and that's whose medical journal she's reading. Dr. Loomis is kind of like, I guess he's like the hero of the story because he's the only one that knows Michael's like actually evil because he's like the psychologist, so he's supposed to like, check in on him and see how he's going along with his mental health evaluation. So throughout the years of getting to know this guy, he basically realizes this guy's complete evil and a psychopath, like just insane, like otherworldly evil, not even like human. But anyway, he escapes the mental hospital. So you're already told right when the movie starts that this guy's horrible, evil, and escaped the mental hospital. So all the carnage he does, you already know who he is. So I think that's pretty cool. That's why kind of Halloween's such an iconic movie. And there's a whole bunch of sequels. There's some spin-offs. There's some it goes really deep on the lore of it. But I thought this was a pretty good rendition of a fan fiction take on it because we really don't get to see much of like how people are reacting to his killings besides his immediate victims. And like if Michael Myers was real and they're trying to immerse us in a real world of like, if this was a real timeline, there would be some crazy people that are inspired by him. That happens all the time. So I think that's kind of cool. It kind of just gives the story a little more immersion.
Yeah, definitely. I think with that background knowledge now, I think our viewers will be able to go in and with the knowledge of the lore and like see like how this compares to the actual movie.
Yeah, when you come over, Thomas, when I show you the rough cut of the doc, we'll watch Halloween because I gotta show you that movie. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right. We are still working on that documentary on upstate New York.
Yeah, Thomas, you want to give him some updates or anything like that? I'll give him a few updates too, but you can go first with any thoughts or anything you want to say about
Well, the
that.
last update I have is that Jake and I are starting to kind of like put it together, so we should be done pretty soon. I'm gonna turn it over to you. How's the editing process going?
Yeah, the editing process is going really good. I think we have a lot of really good interviews with a lot of really good people. I'll say it's funny. When you do interviews, it's hard to tell what's really important. But then when you start going into edit bay, you realize who's really important. I'll tell you, Thomas, that Lynn lady you've recorded, the farmer, the agriculture lady, super
Yeah,
helpful, super helpful. Oh my gosh, her interviews like that was like so important. There's so many sound bites from that are going to be like really staples for the doc. So good job
yeah,
on that. Good job on that interview. She was really helpful.
yeah. I'll give a little teaser into that. She is I believe, a director of Cornell University, which is also in upstate New York, prestigious Ivy League school, has a agricultural, I guess, department within Allegheny County, New York, which is the subject of our documentary. So she's one of the directors of that, and she basically goes into detail about agriculture and like farming, and they do like seminars and stuff too. So just a little teaser into that portion of the documentary for you guys.
Yeah, and another thing I'll say too is kind of an interesting, fun little spin-off. So some of you filmmakers out there might want to know this is like a little, I guess consider this a promotional break before you get back to the review because we'll do that now. Um, I'll say I'm actually making the score myself with my guitar and my digital audio workspace. I'm making the score for the documentary myself because I know these filmmakers and us included, it's so hard to get licensing for music. I mean, if you try to get a commercial license for a song, not like just put it on YouTube and monetize it. I mean, like be able to go out and sell your film. It costs like $200 per song. And I was like, I could do that. So I've been making my own scores. So there'll probably be an album that comes out that's related to the film. So what I'm probably gonna do is you'll see a trailer first for the film that I'll have, and I'll have that available for y'all. And then I also have the album so y'all can kind of listen to the music and the soundtrack for it. And then we're gonna start going out and promoting the doc and going to festivals and stuff. So we'll definitely have a lot of cool content for y'all. There'll be new music, there'll be a new trailer, and of course there'll be a new documentary, and it kind of all goes hand in hand. But I'll tell you guys out there, if you're a musician and can play a little guitar, play a keyboard, or whatever your instrument is, don't be afraid to go and score your own films because it's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run. I mean, if we would have scored, if I would have paid for like 4 songs, it would have costed us like almost more than we had to put in the documentary itself, you know? So now we can keep that budget low, and when we do return it, it's pure profit. So that's something to just think about for all those musician filmmakers out there. I just thought that was a kind of cool thing to share.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited to do this film. I never actually thought that I would make a documentary in my lifetime, but here we are.
Yeah, no, and if any of y'all know anything about documentaries, we're kind of more feature filmmakers, so it's nice. This is our first ever documentary, so we're kind of learning and trial and error and stuff. So if y'all are any experienced documentarians out there, please let us know your secrets. Let us know some do's and don'ts. We really appreciate it because we're just kind of cutting our teeth on this. But so far, I think we have a pretty good plan, and so far I've been really enjoying the process.
All
But
right, so
but yeah,
that's your update
Thomas.
on that.
Yeah, definitely. Would look out for that soon. We'll probably have that out by the end of July. And Thomas, you got any final thoughts on our little short film today, Sam Hain?
I thought it was a really fun movie. I love. Do they? I had another question. Do they end it the same way at the end, where the police cars come up to the house and?
Yeah, so that is really good because in the Halloween, so actually that is how they begin the movie in Halloween, like the original Halloween, which is cool because it's showing this is the beginning of her murder story and how she's been inspired by Michael Myers. So the very first scene in Halloween is basically you don't see who the killer is, but you see like this like knife in this person like point of view shot almost walking up to this lady who's like who's ends up being this kid's sister, and she's talking to her boyfriend on the phone. She's like, Michael, so you can tell that this is like her brother or something. And then you get a scene where he's like stabbing her, like he comes back in and stabs her, and this is like 9-year-old Michael Myers. And then the scene ends where the camera kind of zooms out, and you see this little boy in a clown suit with like a blank expression on his face and a butcher knife, and then the police are coming up and like seeing what the hell happened and walking right past them, and then they're putting two and two together. And that's really cool that they ended the movie like that because that's actually how the original Halloween starts.
Yeah, that's really cool that they drew so much of it. Even.
Yeah, once you see like if you like the film itself, when I show you the original Halloween, you'll be like, wow, they did a really good job because they literally ended it the way that the original starts, which is really cool because it's like a start of another story.
All right. Well,
Yeah, man. But anyway, this was fun. A little Halloween in July. I mean, I watch that movie like at least every month, so it's not a big deal. I love Halloween, but yeah, great film. Great job. This is the last time we have to review Alex's films for a while because he booked us out for like a bunch. This is the last one of your films, man. Like I said, we always love your film. I like you even more now that I know you're a Halloween fan. You know, I mean, I can't trust people that like horror movies that don't like Halloween, right? So, so you're cool, man. But we'll work on Thomas. We'll make an exception for Thomas. I'll show him. He'll like Halloween. But yeah, really great film, man. I hope you have some more stuff coming out. You know where to find us. Just hit me up on Facebook, man. I love your work, and we're big supporters of you over here. So anyway, Thomas, you want to do the honors?
and remember, stay at home.